Right now, a catastrophic winter storm is racing toward the central and eastern United States, and the clock is ticking. We are 5 days out from Friday, January 23rd, and this is not a drill. The European weather model just dropped a bombshell. We are looking at freezing rain accumulations that could exceed 1 inch across central Texas. 1 inch of ice. Do you know what that does to power lines? They snap like toothpicks. Trees collapse under the weight. But here is what will shock you. This ice storm stretches for over 800 miles from central Texas all the way into Tennessee. And if you stay with me for just 30 seconds, I am going to reveal which major cities are directly in the crosshairs and when this monster hits your neighborhood. You need to hear the exact timeline because grocery stores are about to be wiped clean. Let me give you the reality check nobody else is talking about. The models show this storm developing Friday morning. By Friday night, northern Texas sees the first snowflakes. But then something terrifying happens. A warm layer of air sits thousands of feet above the surface while Arctic air hugs the ground at 25 degrees. Snow falls from the clouds, melts into rain in that warm layer, then refreezes the instant it touches anything at the surface. Your car windshield, power lines, roads, tree branches, everything becomes encased in ice. Saturday morning, January 24th, the situation explodes. Central Texas, northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, they wake up to a nightmare. The latest model run shows temperatures of 19 degrees in Charlotte, North Carolina, 26 degrees in Columbia, South Carolina. But the precipitation falling, freezing rain. At 19 degrees, you would think that is snow. But the atmosphere does not care what you think. That warm nose of air several thousand feet up creates the perfect ice storm recipe. Here is your first reward. I promised you the cities in the direct path. Listen carefully. Dallas-Fort Worth, you are in the ice zone. Shreveport, Louisiana, ice storm central. Little Rock, Arkansas, brace for impact. Memphis, Tennessee, you are looking at a potential crippling ice event. Nashville, Tennessee, heavy snow mixed with ice. Atlanta, Georgia, this could swing your way if the storm tracks just 50 miles north. And for those in Charlotte and Columbia, the models are screaming ice accumulation warnings. But wait. There is a twist you need to understand. The GFS model, that is the American forecasting system, shows something completely different from the European model for parts of the East. Which one is right? We will break that down, but first, you need to know about the sleet bomb. The GFS model loves to show sleet. What is sleet? Those are ice pellets. They bounce when they hit the ground. And the GFS is painting a massive sleet zone over northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas Saturday morning. We are talking about a sleet accumulation that could reach 4 to 6 inches in some areas. 4 to 6 inches of ice pellets piling up like hail in summer, except this is January and it is 20 degrees outside. Now here is where your brain needs to focus. The Canadian model agrees with the GFS on the sleet. 2 major models showing the same thing. But the European model says freezing rain instead of sleet for the same area. Why does this matter? Because sleet and freezing rain require completely different preparations. Sleet you can shovel. Freezing rain you cannot. Freezing rain makes every surface a skating rink. It brings down trees and power lines. It shuts down entire cities for days. Let me paint you a picture of Saturday, January 24th. It is 5 a.m. You wake up in Little Rock, Arkansas. You look outside and everything is covered in a thick coating of ice. The trees in your yard are bowing under the weight. You hear a crack. A large branch snaps and crashes onto your neighbor's car. The power flickers once, twice, then goes out. No heat, no lights. It is 22 degrees inside your house within hours. This is not fear-mongering. This is pattern recognition. We have seen this setup before. The January 2000 ice storm hit Arkansas and Missouri with similar atmospheric conditions. Hundreds of thousands lost power for weeks. In some rural areas, people were without electricity for 3 weeks in the dead of winter. But here is the critical question. Why is this storm so unusual? And the answer is going to surprise you. We have 3 factors colliding at once. Number 1, a massive cold Arctic high-pressure system is diving south from Canada. This brings the surface temperatures down to the teens and 20s across the southern states. Number 2, moisture is streaming north from the Gulf of Mexico. Warm, humid air loaded with precipitation. Number 3, and this is the key, a ridge of high pressure at 18,000 feet is pumping warm air over the top of that cold surface air. You are probably thinking, how can there be a ridge during a winter storm? Ridges mean nice weather, right? Wrong. Not when we are talking about different levels of the atmosphere. At 18,000 feet, that ridge creates a warm layer where temperatures might be in the 40s or even 50s. But remember, you do not live at 18,000 feet. You live at the surface where it is 25 degrees. So precipitation starts as snow up high, melts into rain in that warm layer, then has no time to refreeze until it smacks into your 25-degree car windshield. The result? Instant ice. And we are not talking about a light glaze. The models are showing ice accumulation of more than half an inch across a zone that stretches from Waco, Texas to Nashville, Tennessee. Over 600 miles of ice storm territory. Now, drop your location in the comments right now. Tell me what city or town you are in. I am going to give you a personalized forecast update in the comments section. This is important. Every 50 miles makes a difference in this storm. If you are in Dallas, your forecast is different from someone in Oklahoma City. If you are in Memphis, your situation is different from Little Rock. So comment your location and I will get you the specific details you need. Let me give you another shocking number. The snowfall totals. Northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, you are looking at 8 to 12 inches of snow. Parts of Oklahoma could see 10 to 14 inches. The Texas Panhandle, 15 to 20 inches of heavy, wet snow. That is almost 2 feet of snow in an area that sees maybe 1 or 2 snow events per year. But the eastern United States, you are not off the hook. The storm does not stop in the Mid-South. It keeps moving, and this is where the models start to diverge wildly. The European model says the storm takes a more southern track. This would bring heavy snow to the Carolinas and Virginia. We are talking about 6 to 10 inches of snow from Charlotte to Raleigh to Richmond. The GFS model says the storm tracks further north. This would mean less snow for the Carolinas, but a major snowstorm for the Mid-Atlantic and possibly the Northeast. Philadelphia, New York, Boston, you could be looking at significant snow early next week if the GFS is right. So which model do we trust? Here is the truth. It is too early to know for certain. We are still 5 days out from the initial development, but both models agree on one thing. A major winter storm is coming. The only question is the exact track, and that determines who gets snow versus ice versus a mix. Let me take you through the hour-by-hour breakdown because timing is everything. Friday, January 23rd, early morning. Snow begins falling across the Texas Panhandle and western Oklahoma. This is light snow at first. Temperatures are in the mid-20s. Roads are just starting to get slick. Friday, 10 a.m. Snow intensifies across Oklahoma and northern Texas. We are now seeing snowfall rates of 1 inch per hour in some locations. The roads are becoming impassable. The temperature drops to 20 degrees Friday, 2 p.m. The moisture pushes east. Central Texas starts to see a mix of sleet and freezing rain. This is where it gets dangerous. Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, you are now in the danger zone. Temperatures hover right around 32 degrees. Any precipitation is freezing on contact. Friday, 6 p.m. The Arctic air continues to drain south. Temperatures in Dallas drop to 28 degrees. Freezing rain becomes heavier. Ice starts accumulating on trees and power lines. The first power outages begin. Friday, 10 p.m. The ice storm expands eastward. Shreveport, Louisiana is now getting hit hard. Freezing rain is coming down steadily. Ice accumulation reaches 1/4 inch. Trees start snapping under the weight. Saturday, January 24th, 2 a.m. This is the worst of it for the central states. Little Rock, Arkansas is experiencing a full-blown ice storm. Ice accumulation exceeds 1/2 inch. Tens of thousands are without power. Roads are completely shut down. It is 20 degrees outside. Saturday, 6 a.m. Memphis, Tennessee wakes up to chaos. A mix of sleet and freezing rain has been falling all night. Some areas have 4 inches of sleet on the ground. Other areas have 1/2 inch of ice coating everything. The city is paralyzed. Saturday, 10 a.m. Nashville, Tennessee is getting slammed with heavy snow. This is where the cold air is deep enough to support all snow instead of ice. 6 inches already on the ground, and it is still coming down hard. Snowfall rates of 2 inches per hour. Saturday, 2 p.m. The storm continues to churn. Arkansas and Louisiana are still dealing with ice. Tennessee and Kentucky are buried in snow, and now the moisture is pushing into the Carolinas. This is where the forecast gets tricky. Saturday, 6 p.m. If the European model is right, Charlotte and Raleigh start seeing snow, heavy snow. 4 to 6 inches could fall overnight Saturday into Sunday morning. But if the GFS is right, the Carolinas stay mostly dry and the snow targets areas further north. Here is the thing about forecasting ice storms. They are the most difficult weather events to predict. Why? Because the difference between freezing rain and sleet comes down to the thickness of that warm layer aloft and the depth of the cold air at the surface. We are talking about atmospheric layers that are only a few thousand feet thick. A tiny shift in the temperature profile, and suddenly freezing rain becomes sleet, or sleet becomes snow. This is why I said earlier that you need to comment your location, because I will be updating the forecast multiple times per day as we get new model data. And trust me, the forecast will change. It always does with these setups. But the overall pattern is locked in. Cold air, moisture, winter storm. That part is not changing. Now let me tell you about the days after the storm. This is critical. Even after the precipitation stops Sunday morning, the temperatures stay brutally cold. Sunday high temperature in Little Rock, 28 degrees. Monday high temperature, 30 degrees. That means any ice that accumulates on Saturday is not melting. It stays frozen. Power lines stay down. Trees stay broken. Roads stay impassable. We could be looking at a multi-day shutdown of major portions of the South. Schools closed Monday, possibly Tuesday. Businesses shut down. And for those without power, this becomes a life-threatening situation fast. When it is 20 degrees outside and you have no heat, you can develop hypothermia inside your own home within 24 hours. Here is what you need to do right now, today, Monday, January 19th. Number 1, stock up on non-perishable food. Get enough for at least 5 days. Canned goods, peanut butter, bread, anything that does not require cooking. Because if the power goes out, your stove might not work. Number 2, fill up your gas tank today. Do not wait until Thursday or Friday. Everyone else will be doing the same thing and gas stations will run out. Number 3, get batteries. Flashlights, lanterns, battery-powered radios. You need a way to get information if the power is out and your phone dies. Number 4, charge all your devices tonight. Phones, tablets, laptops, battery packs. Make sure everything is at 100% before Friday. Number 5, bring in any outdoor furniture or decorations. Ice accumulation can turn a patio chair into a projectile in high winds. Number 6, if you have a fireplace, stock up on firewood now. If you do not have a fireplace, consider getting a small propane heater as a backup heat source. But be careful, never use outdoor heaters indoors without proper ventilation. Number 7, fill your bathtub with water Friday morning. If the power goes out, your water supply might be affected. You need water for drinking and flushing toilets. And number 8, make a plan. If the power goes out for more than 24 hours, where will you go? Do you have family or friends in an area that might not be affected? Figure this out now, not Saturday morning when the roads are sheets of ice. Let me give you the promised information from the beginning. I told you at minute 5 I would deliver on the specifics. Here it is. The most likely scenario based on all the model data is this. Texas Panhandle and western Oklahoma, 8 to 15 inches of snow, Friday afternoon through Saturday evening. Central Texas, including Dallas-Fort Worth, ice storm with accumulations of ½ inch to 1 inch, Friday evening through Saturday afternoon. Major power outages likely. Travel impossible. Northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and northern Mississippi, mixed bag of sleet and freezing rain totaling 1 to 3 inches of ice equivalent Friday night through Sunday morning. Catastrophic ice storm potential. Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas, 4 to 8 inches of sleet and snow mix Saturday morning through Saturday night. Some areas could see higher amounts. Nashville, Tennessee, and southern Kentucky, 6 to 12 inches of snow Saturday morning through Sunday morning. Western North Carolina and upstate South Carolina, this depends on the track. Anywhere from 2 to 10 inches of snow Sunday morning. Huge uncertainty here. Eastern North Carolina and South Carolina coast likely stays mostly rain or a rain-snow mix. Temperatures too warm for significant accumulation. Northern Georgia and northern Alabama, another battleground zone. Could see significant ice, could see snow, could see a mix. Everything depends on whether the storm tracks 50 miles north or south. And for the mid-Atlantic, this is where it gets really interesting. If the GFS model is right and the storm transfers energy to a coastal low-pressure system, we could see a major snowstorm for Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, even into Pennsylvania and New Jersey, Monday and Tuesday. We are talking about potential for over 12 inches of snow in some areas, but this is low confidence right now. Check back Tuesday for updates on this possibility. Here is something most weather forecasters will not tell you. The long-range pattern after this storm is just as concerning. We are entering a phase of the atmosphere called MJO Phase 7 and Phase 8. What does that mean? It means favorable conditions for winter storms across the United States continue for at least another 2 to 3 weeks. This is not a one-and-done situation. The Climate Prediction Center, that is the government agency that does long-range forecasts, shows colder than average temperatures for the next 9 to 10 days across the entire eastern half of the country, and they show wetter than average conditions as well. Cold plus wet in late January equals more winter storm chances. The MJO, that stands for Madden-Julian Oscillation, is a pattern of tropical convection that circles the globe every 30 to 60 days. When it is in phases 7 and 8, historically we see increased winter storm activity across the southern and eastern United States. And we are about to boat race through phase 7 this week and enter phase 8 by next weekend. Translation? Even after this weekend S-storm, there could be another storm system the following week, and possibly another one after that. We might be looking at an active pattern that lasts into mid-February. So when you are stocking up on supplies this week, think beyond just this one storm. Think about the next 2 to 3 weeks, because if we get hit with multiple storms, supply chains get disrupted. Grocery stores have trouble restocking. Delivery trucks cannot run. It becomes harder to get what you need. Now let me address the elephant in the room. Some of you are thinking, why should I trust this forecast when we are still 5 days out? Fair question. Here is why. The large-scale pattern is extremely clear. We have cold air, we have moisture, we have the right atmospheric setup. Those ingredients are locked in. What is not locked in is the exact placement of the heaviest precipitation. Think of it like a hurricane forecast. 5 days out, we know a hurricane is coming. We know it is a major hurricane. What we do not know is whether it hits Florida or Georgia or South Carolina, but we know it is hitting somewhere. Same concept here. We know a major winter storm is developing. We know it affects the central and eastern states. The exact details will be refined over the next few days. This is why you need to check back. I am going to be doing updates every single day leading up to this storm. Today is Monday. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we will have a new video with updated model data. Wednesday, another update. Thursday, we will start seeing the storm on the satellite imagery. That is when things get real. Friday morning it begins. And here is a critical piece of information. This storm has the potential to be a long-duration event. Some model runs show precipitation continuing for over 36 hours in some locations. 36 hours of continuous ice accumulation. Think about what that means. It is not just a quick hit where you get an inch of ice and it is over. This could be a slow-motion disaster where ice just keeps accumulating and accumulating. The European model shows freezing rain still falling Sunday morning in parts of Texas. That is almost 48 hours after the initial development. 2 full days of ice. Power grids are not designed to handle that kind of sustained ice loading. We could see widespread infrastructure failure. Let me tell you about cold air damming. This is a critical concept for understanding why the Carolinas and Georgia might get hit hard. Cold air damming happens when Arctic air gets trapped east of the Appalachian Mountains. The mountains act like a wall, and the cold air just sits there. Meanwhile, moisture from the south tries to move north, but cannot push the cold air out because the mountains are blocking it. So what happens? The warm moisture overruns the cold air, and you get the perfect setup for a major ice storm. This is exactly what happened in the devastating 2002 ice storm that paralyzed North Carolina and Virginia. Over 700,000 people lost power, some for 2 weeks. The atmospheric setup this weekend has similarities to that event. A strong, cold, high pressure positioned over eastern Canada and the northeast. Moisture streaming north from the Gulf. The Appalachian Mountains creating a barrier. All the ingredients for cold air damming and a potentially catastrophic ice storm for the Carolinas. Now, I need you to do something right now. Pause this video and go comment your location. Tell me what city you are in, then come back and finish watching. Because I am going to be in the comments giving specific forecast details based on your location. This is important. Do it now, okay? You are back. Good. Let me tell you about what happens after you lose power in an ice storm. Hour 1, you think it is an inconvenience. You light some candles, maybe it will come back on soon. Hour 4, your house is getting cold, you put on extra layers. Hour 12, it is now legitimately cold inside. You are wearing your winter coat indoors. Your phone battery is dying. Hour 24, you are in trouble. No heat for 24 hours when it is 20 degrees outside means your house is now in the 40s or even 30s inside. This is when people start making dangerous decisions. They bring their gas grill inside to cook, carbon monoxide poisoning, or they use their oven to heat the house, fire hazard, or they huddle in their car in the garage with the engine running, deadly carbon monoxide. Here is the safe way to handle extended power outages in winter. First, designate one room as your warm room. Close all the doors to other rooms. Use blankets over windows and doorways to trap heat. Everyone stays in that one room. Body heat from multiple people will keep that space warmer. Second, dress in layers. Thermal underwear, multiple shirts, sweaters, coats, hats, gloves, even indoors. You can survive much colder temperatures if you are properly dressed. Third, if you have a fireplace or wood stove, use it, but make sure your chimney is clear and you have proper ventilation. Never burn trash or cardboard, only seasoned firewood. Fourth, eat high-calorie foods. Your body needs fuel to generate heat. Peanut butter, nuts, granola bars, anything with fat and protein. Fifth, stay hydrated. You lose moisture when you breathe in cold air. Dehydration makes hypothermia worse. And sixth, check on your neighbors. Elderly people and young children are most vulnerable to cold. A wellness check could save a life. Let me give you the snowfall map one more time because this is critical. If you are in Amarillo, Texas, 15 to 20 inches of snow. If you are in Oklahoma City, 10 to 14 inches. If you are in Tulsa, 8 to 12 inches. If you are in Springfield, Missouri, 8 to 12 inches. If you are in Fayetteville, Arkansas, 6 to 10 inches. If you are in Little Rock, mostly ice, maybe 2 to 4 inches of sleet. If you are in Shreveport, ice storm, half an inch to 1 inch ice accumulation. If you are in Jackson, Mississippi, ice and sleet mix, quarter to half inch ice equivalent. If you are in Memphis, 4 to 8 inches sleet and snow. If you are in Nashville, 8 to 12 inches snow. If you are in Knoxville, 6 to 10 inches snow. If you are in Asheville, North Carolina, 4 to 8 inches snow. If you are in Charlotte, this is the big question mark, anywhere from 2 to 10 inches depending on the exact track. If you are in Raleigh, same thing, 2 to 10 inches, high uncertainty. If you are in Atlanta, could see some ice and snow, but details are unclear. Now here is the final piece of the puzzle. After the storm passes, we have another blast of Arctic air coming Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. High temperatures in the teens and 20s across the south, low temperatures in the single digits and even below zero in some areas. This prolonged cold means the ice and snow will not melt. It will be frozen on the ground for days, possibly over a week in some locations. Schools that close Friday might not reopen until the following Tuesday or Wednesday. That is over a week of closures. Businesses shut down. Supply chains disrupted. This has economic impacts beyond just the weather, and here is why this matters so much. The South is not equipped for this kind of winter weather. Northern states have fleets of snowplows and salt trucks. They have experience. The South does not. When Dallas gets an ice storm, they have maybe a dozen salt trucks for a metroplex of 7 million people. It is not enough. The roads stay impassable for days. Let me paint you one final picture. It is Sunday, January 25th. The precipitation has stopped, but the damage is done. Millions are without power across Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee, and possibly the Carolinas. Roads are impassable. Grocery stores are closed. Gas stations are closed. Schools are closed. It is 20 degrees outside and there is no heat. This is the reality of what could happen this weekend. I am not trying to scare you. I am trying to prepare you because if you take action now, today, Monday, you will be okay. Stock up on food, water, batteries, and fuel. Make a plan. Know where you will go if the power goes out for more than 24 hours. And remember, comment your location below. I will give you specific forecast updates for your area. This is a rapidly evolving situation. New model data comes in every 6 hours. The forecast will be refined. But the overall message is clear. A major winter storm is coming. 5 days and counting. One more thing before we wrap up. If you have medications that need refrigeration, make a plan now. If the power goes out, those medications will warm up. Call your pharmacy and ask about getting extra doses or ask about options for keeping them cold without power. If you use medical equipment that requires electricity, contact your power company now. Many utilities have priority restoration lists for medical needs. Get yourself on that list. If you have pets, make sure you have enough food for them too, and bring outdoor pets inside during the storm. No animal should be left outside in ice storm conditions. This is everything you need to know right now. But it is not everything you will need to know by Friday. Things will change. New information will come in. That is why you need to watch the next video tomorrow and the next one Wednesday and Thursday. Stay informed, stay prepared. And in the comments, I want to see two things from you. Number one, your location so I can give you a personalized forecast. And number two, tell me what you are doing to prepare. Are you stocking up today? Have you filled your gas tank? Let me know. We are all in this together. The storm is coming. 5 days until impact. The models are in agreement on the big picture. We are going to see historic ice accumulations across parts of the South. We are going to see significant snowfall across other areas. And we are going to see a prolonged cold snap that makes recovery difficult. This is not over after this weekend. More systems are possible next week and into early February. The pattern is locked in for active winter weather. So stay tuned, stay prepared, and stay safe. Drop your location in the comments right now, and